Hello friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Again, this is Wayne Glass Fitness. And today I wanted to talk about moving to New York City amidst the pandemic. So as you can see, we're sitting outside today, so getting some sun. It's still really hot here in New York City. So I'm trying to soak up as much of the rays as I can prior to winter happening, especially having moved from Minnesota where it's legitimately frozen for 9 consecutive months.
I'm never going back. The past is in the past.
It's almost gonna be 80 today, so I'm gonna take that and we're gonna sit outside and chat. I moved to New York City amidst the pandemic, and you're probably thinking to yourself, why? Right? So this decision was made as of February of 2020, prior to having known there would be a pandemic or stuff going down around the world. I made the decision to kind of formally resign from my job and move to the city because my partner lives here, and that was the plan all along for me to physically relocate, right? So getting things lined up and ready to go, and I made that decision in February, and then here we go, March, and kind of the world started to close. And by kind of, I mean it legitimately closed. And it's probably one of the most challenging months for all of us, right? So March rolls around, and I'm actually in the city because it's my partner's birthday, and I had a final round interview for a job that was remote because a lot of the offices by then had already closed and people were already getting ready to work from home or were working from home. So my final round interview for a job was virtual. And it was a couple hours long. I did it from the apartment, and I went home, I think the next day or maybe the day after, to go back to work. And while I was actually getting ready to go back home, I was finding out that colleges were closing. And as folks know, I work and have worked in higher education for 7 years. And so going back, and now students are leaving. There's like a mass exodus, and people are leaving or going home or relocating because of the universities and colleges are closing around the nation. And again, shortly thereafter, states and cities and towns were beginning to close as well. So as I'm navigating all of this and navigating the chaos that is the world closing, I am freaking out because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to have a job. And then come to find out, like, I didn't. So, job prospects started to go away, and businesses started to close, and some closed permanently, and hiring freezes came to fruition. And so now I'm like panicking because, I resigned from my job, and also I'm getting ready to move in a couple of months and going back to consistent chaos. And I mean, the chaos is still existing in higher education right now, where COVID-19 cases are rising, and it's a mess. So I'm navigating my time back in Minnesota, and from basically March, April, May, June, and then I left in July to come here. It was essentially like crisis management for however many months that was. And as we all know, lots of things happened between now and then that were, chaotic and emotional and physical in regards to like turmoil. And it was just, it's continuing to be a tumultuous time. So now I'm in going to be 3 months living in the city, and it's been a lot of ups and downs emotionally, physically, spiritually. Still job searching, still trying to figure out what I'm going to do in addition to my fitness life. Worked in higher ed for a long time, and it's something that I'm very much interested in continuing to pursue. And also I'm starting to apply to go back to school to get a second graduate degree in mental health counseling, which is something that I'm also super passionate about, having done a lot of mental health crisis management work for most of my adult life, at least my adult professional life. So that's something that I'm interested in pursuing and going to pursue and give it my shot and see where that goes. But until then, until graduate school applications are due, until programs start for fall of 2021, I'm going to continue to job search and kind of figure out what I'm going to do in the interim, whether it be higher education or nonprofit or for-profit, or I'm pretty open to kind of where I'm wanting to go with my professional trajectory. It's been definitely a humbling experience. I think that for folks that are able to maintain employment, to not quit their job or leave their job at all during this time, unless it's, again, not going to be good for your health or well-being, I would stay. I would not encourage anyone to just up and leave unless your physical or emotional well-being is going to be jeopardized. But and again, it's scary. I mean, working in higher education is scary right now. Cases are going up at universities and colleges. Colleges are closing. They're switching to be remote and be online. And again, I'm open to working in those environments. A lot of places, fortunately, are working remote. But for those that are, on the ground, like our residential life folks, I have a lot of empathy for those individuals, having been one for 5 years professionally and seeing it just be a dumpster fire, for a lack of better words. But again, not something I'm going to stray away from. So, supporting and loving people and being able to care for them and provide resources and advocate, educate, and support holistically has been something that's been integral to my life since, I was an adult, 18 years old in college. It was very much who I am. I don't know necessarily about like middle school and high school. I was still trying to figure out who I am as a person then, but I definitely know that going into a helping profession and a helping field is where I'm at and where I'm wanting to go and continue to be in. Hence is why I do fitness. I love watching people grow in the fitness realm and get better and do better and be better, not only physically but emotionally, and being able to take a lot of those elements into their day-to-day lives, outside of the gym or outside of working out. So again, I'm trying to dive into multiple different avenues and see where that goes and see how I can help people and plug myself in and, create side hustles for myself, maybe make a name of myself and those types of things. But yeah, New York City, it's doing its thing, right? So it's largely closed. There's things that are not necessarily open, but we're figuring it out and we're doing the best that we can. But thank you all so much again for listening to my conversations and my chats and my kind of virtual vlogs and diary entries. Something that I think is kind of fun for me to do and to chat about different things that are important. And if there are things that are important to you that you would love for me to learn about or to chat about, I'd be more than interested and willing to know. Just leave a comment down below in the box, and I'd be happy to address things or talk about some specific things. But thank you all so much for coming and being here today. I hope you all have a fierce and fabulous day, week ahead, and I will look forward to talking to you more soon.